It often starts with a single phone call or a conversation behind a closed door, a sudden job loss, a medical diagnosis, or a breakup that leaves you standing at the bottom of a hole you didn't see coming. Once the initial shock wears off, a second, deeper weight settles in. You look around and realize the people you relied on are no longer standing there. The phone stops ringing, and the support you expected to have simply disappears. In that stillness, a single question starts to repeat itself. Is God actually here in this room, or am I navigating this darkness entirely on my own? Think back to the moment the world went quiet for you, when your options were gone and you were truly alone. Where did you look for an answer? To find that answer, we can look at the historical events surrounding the final days of Jesus Christ. His experience provides a map for what happens when a life is stripped down to nothing. While our own struggles feel unique and personal, looking at this historical record suggests that even the most isolating pain follows a recognizable path toward a different kind of strength. The historical account begins in a garden. Late at night, Jesus was arrested by Roman authorities, marking the moment his life was physically taken out of his own hands. In that moment of crisis, his closest friends, the disciples who had walked with him for years, did not stay to defend him. They fled into the shadows, leaving him to face the soldiers alone. This pattern hasn't changed in 2,000 years. When a modern life falls apart, the social circle often shrinks. People pull away when the situation becomes too heavy to carry. This points to a specific truth. The departure of people creates a specific kind of silence where God's presence can be more easily felt. When the human voices stop, a different one becomes audible. As the history continues, Jesus was mocked and forced to wear a crown of thorns. On the surface, this looked like a series of cruel, random events with no objective other than to cause pain. We often feel this way when illness or financial ruin lasts for months. It feels like we are being singled out for a punishment that has no end and no reason. But consider the process of refinement. A stone does not become smooth, and gold does not become pure without passing through the heat. The fire is not there to destroy the material, it is there to remove what doesn't belong. What if the weight you are carrying right now, the thing you've labeled as a punishment, is actually part of that process? Isolation and intense pain are not signs that you have been cast aside. History shows they are the conditions required to build a resilience that cannot be gained any other way. After the trial, Jesus was forced to walk toward Calvary. He moved toward a destination of intense suffering with no visible way out. This is the same feeling we have when we are in a deep crisis. We look ahead at the next month or the next year, and we cannot see any logical way that things will work out. That brings us to a third truth. Faith is the act of taking that next step even when the path is completely dark. If you could see the way out, you wouldn't need to trust. At the peak of his physical distress on the cross, Jesus did something unexpected. He prayed for the forgiveness of the people around him. For most of us, the natural reaction to grief is to shut down. We stop talking, we assume that if God was listening, the pain wouldn't be this intense. Yet this historical prayer suggests that our lowest moments are when we are most heard. Choosing to speak when you feel most broken ensures the connection remains open. With his final breath, Jesus did not choose anger or resentment toward the people who put him there. He chose to release his life into God's hands. He was letting go of the need to control the outcome. Looking at your own hardship, are you holding on to anger, or are you moving toward a place of release? Transforming brokenness into strength happens when we stop trying to fight the situation and start trusting the process. It is the decision to keep moving forward despite the weight. The historical story did not end with the cross. That perspective changes how we see our own lives. The pain you feel today is a difficult passage, but the narrative is being written. We can take 5 specific actions today. The first step is to invite God into the silence of your isolation. Next, reframe your struggles as the heat required to strengthen you rather than break you. Fourth, commit to moving forward one step at a time. Speak your pain out loud in prayer. Finally, choose to let go of bitterness. When you replace anger with trust, the cycle is complete. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change before you start these steps. You can begin them right now, right where you are. History shows us that God is often most active in the moments we feel most broken. When you maintain your faith through the shadows, the ending has a way of working in your favor. Keep moving,